Virgin, and I know you're almost decided. I know your head has already formed a plan, that you've analyzed all the variables, that you've reached a logical conclusion and are ready to execute. But no, not yet, because there's something you're not seeing, something crucial, something that, if you act on it now, you'll regret. And not that small regret that passes. It's the kind that stays, the kind you'll remember in 6 months and think, why didn't I wait? Why didn't I listen? So before you sign that, before you finish that, before you start that, before you say that, before you accept that, breathe and give me 5 minutes, because what I'm about to show you will completely change what you thought you knew about February. You feel it, don't you? That pressure, that inner urgency saying, decide now, solve it now, act now, and you think it's intuition. You think it's clear. You think you're finally seeing clearly what you need to do. But it's not. It's anxiety disguised as certainty. It's fear disguised as courage. It's despair disguised as a decision. And Virgos fall into this trap more than any other. Why? Because you're good at transforming feelings into logic. You take an uncomfortable emotion and rationalize it until it becomes a solid argument, until it becomes a seemingly sensible decision, and you convince yourself completely. But underneath it's just fear. Fear of standing still. Fear of not being in control. Fear that if you don't do something now, you'll lose something important. And this fear, it's pushing you towards the wrong decision, in the wrong month, for the wrong reason. February isn't a month for you to decide. It's a month for observing, for perceiving, for processing, but not for acting, not yet. And I know that frustrates you deeply, because Virgo hates being in suspense, hates having incomplete information, hates not being able to resolve things. But some months aren't for resolving things. They're for receiving information that's still arriving, for seeing the pattern that's still forming, for understanding something that will only make complete sense in a few weeks. And February is that month. It's a month of slow motion revelation, of truth being shown in pieces. And what if you decide before you have all the pieces? You decide based on an incomplete picture. Is a decision based on an incomplete picture? There are always consequences you didn't foresee. So what's happening specifically in February? Mercury retrograde. And before you roll your eyes and think, oh, this story again, listen to me. Because this time it's different. Mercury isn't just retrograde. It's retrograde in Pisces, which is its opposite, its complement, its mirror image. And when Mercury, the planet of logic and information, goes backward in the sign of intuition and illusion, everything you think you know needs to be questioned. Everything you think you see needs to be seen again. Everything you think you understand has layers you haven't grasped. And if you act now, you act without having seen the layers, without having understood the depth, without having perceived what is hidden. And there's more. It's not just Mercury. The sun is in Pisces too, illuminating exactly what you don't want to see, what you've been avoiding, what you've been rationalizing outwardly, what you've been denying because it doesn't fit your logical analysis. And in February forces you to look. It shows you a dream. It shows you synchronicity. It shows you conversations that appear out of nowhere. It shows you memories that return without you calling them. And what does it show? It shows that you're not deciding based on complete truth. You're deciding based on the truth that suits you. It's a truth that confirms what you already wanted to do. And that's not wisdom. It's confirmation bias. And confirmation bias kills more dreams than lack of effort. Let's be specific, because you need something specific. What decision are you about to make? Is it about a person, about work, about moving to a new city, about investing, about a relationship, about a project? It doesn't matter which one. The principle is the same. You've built a case in your head. You've gathered evidence. You've analyzed it. And you've reached a conclusion. And the conclusion seems solid. It seems irrefutable. But there's a missing piece. And the missing piece? It will appear in the second half of February. It will appear after the 20th. And when it appears, it will change everything. It will make you see that it wasn't what you thought, that there were angles you didn't consider, that there was information you didn't have. And if you've already decided, if you've already acted, it will be too late to back out without a high cost. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, But I can't wait forever. I can't stay in perpetual analysis mode. At some point, I need to decide. And you're right. Absolutely right. But that moment, it's not now. It's not February. It's March. From March 15th onwards, when Mercury goes direct, when the fog lifts, when you finally have the complete picture, then yes. Then you decide, and you will decide with real confidence, not forced confidence, with real certainty, not fabricated certainty, with real clarity, not illusory clarity. And the difference? The difference is everything. But there's something deeper going on, something that goes beyond astrology, something about you, about your patterns. You have a history of making quick decisions when you're uncomfortable, of acting to alleviate anxiety instead of acting to create results. And the difference? It's huge. When you act to alleviate anxiety, you're running away from feelings, not moving towards a goal. An action motivated by escape? It rarely leads to a good place. It leads to a different place, which is sometimes even worse, because you change the situation without addressing the root cause. So the same problem appears again, in a different form, but the same essence, and you get stuck in a loop of deciding, regretting, deciding again, regretting again, and you never get out of the cycle because you never take enough time to really understand what's driving the decision. And February is giving you that time. It's forcing you to be uncomfortable for a few weeks, to not have an easy escape from quick action, to sit with uncertainty, with doubt, with not knowing. And this is a gift. There is no punishment, because it is only in this space of not knowing that you can truly listen. Listen to intuition, listen to the body, listen to the soul, listen to what is true beyond what is logical, because not everything that is logical is true. Sometimes logic lies, when it is based on a false premise, when it is based on incomplete information, when it is based on unconscious fear. And you? You trust logic so much that you forget to check if the premise is correct, if the information is complete, if fear is influencing you. So here's what you do. Over the next few days, you write it down. Write down the decision you're about to make. Write down the reasons, all of them, even the ones that seem silly, even the ones you don't want to admit. And then you ask yourself for each reason, is this true or is it fear? Is this fact or is it assumption? Is this intuition or is it anxiety? And be brutally honest, because nobody will see. It's just for you. And when you do this, when you really dissect your reasons, you'll discover that half of them don't hold up. Half are based on assumptions, on fear, on stories you told yourself that aren't necessarily true. And when you remove those false reasons, the decision that seemed urgent seems less urgent. The decision that seemed obvious seems less obvious. And the space that opens up, that's where the truth can enter. And the truth will come in. It will come in through dreams, through unexpected conversations, through information that arrives by chance, through feelings you can't ignore. And it will be different from what you expected. It will contradict what you were sure of, and you will have to choose. Choose between what you rationally decided and what is being revealed intuitively. And Virgo hates this choice, because Virgo trusts in reason. But in February, rationality is compromised. It's nebulous. It's incomplete. So you will have to trust in another kind of knowledge. Knowing that comes from the body, from the heart, from the soul. And that scares you, because there's no way to prove it. There's no way to verify it. There's no way to be certain beforehand. You just have to trust and take the leap and see. But here's the secret. The leap that intuition asks for, it's never an impulsive leap. It's never a desperate leap. It's a calm leap. It's the leap you feel in your body as expansion, not as contraction, as relief, not as tension, as an inner yes, not as external conviction. And if you're convincing yourself, if you're arguing with yourself, if you're trying to force sense, it's not intuition. It's ego. It's fear. It's control. And you need to stop. You need to wait. You need to let the real intuition appear. And it will. It always appears. When you create space. When you become still. when you stop forcing an answer and allow the answer to come. And there's something about the specific decision you're considering. It seems to solve an immediate problem. It seems to provide short-term relief. And it does. It really does. But it will create bigger long-term problems. Problems you're not anticipating because you're not seeing 3 steps ahead. You're only seeing the next step. And the next step, it seems good. But the step after that, and the step after that, not so good, actually complicated, actually painful. And you'll get there and think, how did I not see this coming? And the answer, you didn't see it because you decided in February, when your vision was blurry, when the information was incomplete, when you were in anxiety relief mode instead of conscious creation mode. So the warning isn't, never decide. The warning is, don't decide now. Don't decide in February. Wait until the second half of March, when Mercury is direct, when the fog has lifted, when you have a complete picture. And if the decision still makes sense, then, if it still seems right, if it still resonates, go for it. With everything, with confidence, with certainty. But what if it changes? What if it seems different? What if it no longer resonates? You will be grateful for having waited. You will be grateful for not having acted impulsively. You will be grateful for having honored the process, for having trusted that a certain time exists, and that it's not always the time you want, but it's always the time you need. And while you wait, while you're in this space of suspension, you work internally. You look at patterns. You see where the urgency comes from. You understand what motivates you. You clear away what's influencing you. You heal what's hurt. You calm what's causing anxiety. And when do you do that? When March arrives, you arrive differently, more whole, more clear, more prepared. And the decision you make, it's not a reaction. It's creation. It's not an escape. It's direction. It's not a relief. It's construction. And construction, it lasts. It sustains itself. It grows. While reaction, it crumbles. It always crumbles. So take a deep breath. Let go of the urgency. Let go of the pressure. Let go of the need to solve things now. Because now is not the time for a solution. It requires patience, observation, receptiveness, trust, surrender. And I know these words scare you, because Virgo doesn't do well with surrender. Virgo does well with control, with action, with execution. But some moments, they ask for the opposite. They ask for inaction. They ask for waiting. They ask for trust that what needs to happen will happen in due time, without you forcing it, without you controlling it, without you deciding before the time. In February, it's one of those moments. It's a month of surrender, not a decision. It's a month of listening, not acting. It's a month of receiving, not of doing. And when do you truly surrender? When do you truly stop? The magic happens. Information you didn't have access to appears. A person you didn't expect to enter. An opportunity you didn't see arising. And everything changes. And you see, that was it. That's what I wasn't seeing. That's what was missing. What if I had decided sooner? I would have missed this. I would have chosen inferior when superior was arriving. I would have closed the door that should have remained open. I would have opened the door that should have remained closed. And now? Now I know. Now I see. Now I can decide based on the complete truth. And a decision based on complete truth, it always leads to the right place. Always. Even when it seems harder. Even when it takes longer. Even when it demands more of you. It always leads to the right place. Because it's aligned with truth, with essence, with purpose, with soul. So no, don't make any serious decisions in February. Don't sign any contracts. Don't end the relationship. Don't start a partnership. Don't make any drastic changes. Don't make any irreversible choices. Wait, just wait, and observe, and feel, and allow. And when March arrives, when clarity returns, decide with everything. Knowing that you decided to make it work, knowing that you waited long enough, knowing that you honored the process, and living with conscious consequence, not with unconscious regret. And that makes all the difference between a life you live consciously and a life that happens relatively, between you being in control and you being controlled by fear. between you creating and you reacting. And you deserve to be a creator, not a reactor. You deserve to decide consciously, not relatively. You deserve to live aligned, not misaligned. In February gives you that chance if you have patience, if you have courage, if you have confidence, to wait, to listen, to surrender, and then act at the right time, in the right way, for the right reason, and live with the right result, which is always better than a quick result.